And I want to say, first and foremost, thank you to Winnie, Mara, and Amanda for coming over and talking with us. This is amazing. Okay, so I'm going to get going. So I am Cecile Chevalier, a senior lecturer in digital art practice and my research and building systems of difference, from new sound instruments for collective play, from disability studies and multiple neurodivergence, and as the folding and layering of difference, to full-stack feminism. My own position is a nomadic one, moving in an intersection, neither there or here. As a French migrant, when I return to France, I'm no longer French. People don't recognize me as French. And in the UK, I've never been English. I don't have a problem with that, but it means I don't belong quite anywhere. And this is relevant to my mixed ethnicity, my mixed cultural heritage, my pansexuality, and my neuro differences and my disabilities as their intersection within across one another. So some of that means a massive work around labor, as peeling an onion. You know, each layer is quite tearful, but also joyful. And the layers are the social and cultural norm. It's really messy and it's really laborious. And it's a labor that really, as part of full-stack feminism, we understand that it's a labor for everyone that needs to start peeling those social norms slowly and but also together. And part of that is, as I said, is messy, as we put our foot in, really, literally. Coming to talk about the stack that we mentioned before, is also understanding that those stacks, they're obviously a metaphor, but they're also they're not separate from one another. It's really working across, again, the intersections across those stacks, within the stacks. So full-stack feminism is an approach to counter-othering in full-stack technology and society at large. It recognizes the need to return to a human foci, to sustain politically engaged community heritage. It recognizes the plurality of individual voices in collectives, notes the resonance and tensions between them as we continuously work towards undoing cultural and social conditioning, however messy it is, and seeks to share their struggle and hopes, our struggle and hope. Full-stack feminism is not a claim to new terrain or field of knowledge. It is instead a call, an act from our place, your place, and other places, for materializing alternative text infrastructure as systems of difference, firmly located in feminist ethics of care, community heritage, and digital humanities. In preserving queer voice, Sharon here in this room, sorry, Sharon, discuss community, grassroots, and DIY archive as a unique and crucial contribution to historical narrative. Archives that render visible marginalized heritage and counter hegemonic, heteronormative, and patriarchal thinking of heritage. Quite a big role for a community heritage, just to be clear and recognize whether they choose to be in that place or not. It becomes what they are, what we are. The community archive is also a lived space from which social memory blends with political memory, towards cultural memory, towards social change. Community archives are a place of social practice, distributed agency, and heritage, from which hierarchies of memory fit in different rhythms, from different access points, with avenues that enable different forms of inhabiting, listening, and voicing. And for example, authored in name, authored in the anonymous, in resonance, in silences, in recognition, and in changes. To maintain a community archives means to include both history as storage, as a representation of the past, and to include memory as a set of social process towards the act of remembering, as a life force of the community archive, and as an active agent in shaping of belonging as cultural imaginaries. However, when network, individual and social memories blend with hyper-surveillance and neoliberalism values, while the archive is caught up with is caught in a streams of hyper-memory and hyper-amnesia. As a result, community archive cultural imaginaries, forms of belonging, entangle with assumed digital citizenship that we don't all have, so it's assumed, yeah, and corporate tech imaginary, and their form of belonging. I realized I forgot my slides, so, but we catch up. Corporate tech imaginaries are by themselves paradoxes. They often frame mission of democracy and tech for good in relation to capital aims. This results in a development of a black box technology that mines, corrupt, and extract natural and human resource. Design and production practice that not only reproduce inherited cultural bias, microaggression, violence at an impossible speed and scale, but also dictate how knowledge is distributed and by whom. And doing some of that work, we have today Amanda's talk, I think, is totally relevant to this. And as well in our toolkit, or aspect of the toolkit, there's also some of those texts here with Irene Fubara, Manuel, and Tanya Kant. So, yes, hacking digital pathway for community archives. So, yes, it's my cat, Larry, just in case. He has a brother called Keith. Sorry. I'll go back to focus, sorry. When marginalized, access to levels of technological autonomy and creativity becomes central to hacking and digging deep in new shared digital pathways. A slow and laborious process takes place, often built from lived experience situated, often finding roots in punk, repair culture, do it together, not on your own, crafts and activism. And here we have Winnie, really, and Mara, but Winnie's work with coding and more so programming. Sorry, Winnie, kill me. And that is really pertinent to this. Drawing from Yuval Davis's Politics of Belonging, where care is discussed as an alternative metaphysic, because identities and belonging need to be constructed, I quote here, identities and belonging need to be constructed primarily not as an autonomous rational attitude, but as a relational and dialogical. And then, end of quote. How then can forms of belonging take place in full stack systems? Corporate tech imaginaries, whether AI system, quantum system, future system, in their race for supremacy and speeding up, scaling up, makes it harder for people and communities to keep up with access and tech, and to be able to develop their alternative tech imaginaries and belonging. However, there are alternative space and hopes, both for the community, for community archives as they're being digitized and trying to navigate the corporate landscape. And our hopes, there might be other, but the one we identify are around feminist servers. However, such community do exist, for example, in feminist server as such alternative. So we got sister server and anarch server as feminist server, and places of relationality between voices, collective memory, collection or archives, ethics of care, and open source texts as alternative social system and systems of memory. And here, Mara, that is not with us today, but is, I think, on Signal somewhere, has contributed to Feminist Server quite in a deep way and still going on, I believe. So Feminist Server Manifesto, an evolving ethos, frames agency as access, skill, collaboration, slow, fast computing, knowledge as an awareness of the tools you are using, and politics as freedom of speech, a feminist server. So I would recommend to check the Feminist Server Manifesto, and that is one that's been built from the communities. So it's not authored by a single person, it's from the communities. Although not stated as such, but understood, these values together and some individually also frame an approach to ethics of care, the value that full stack feminism would like to build from. And I stop at that. So our next talk is Winnie Soon and Mara Cariagiani. Hey. So Winnie is a Hong Kong-born artist, coder, and researcher interested live coding. No, I'm sorry, I'm joking. I'm joking. Sorry, I couldn't resist. And researcher interested in the cultural implication of digital infrastructure that addresses wider power asymmetries. Their work appears in museum, galleries, festival, distributed networks, paper, and alternative written forms. Latest publication include co-author books titled Boundary Image, Fix My Code, and an aesthetic programming. And these are amazing texts if you want to engage with coding, you don't know where to start from. They've got amazing values and are really accessible. So they are course leaders at the Creative and Computing Institute, University of Arts in London, and also associate professor, currently on leave at the Aarhus University and visiting researcher at the Center of the Study of the Network Image, London South Bank University. Mara is an artist, software developer, and system administrator. Their work involves computational and analog media for publishing, printmaking, Python programming, making technical user manuals, and writing about the internet, and feminism. Currently, they work as the tech lead for open source project at the non-profit organization Liquid Democracy in Berlin. And together, they're going to present you Queering Bash as a resilient and poetic form of love letters. Aha!